Ready to have a conversation in the departure lounge or what? Hey, quick, Abdul, quick, listen. You know those big towers in New York? Well, listen. And did you notice? I love it. The Korans were left everywhere. You notice? They were left in strip joints. I'm sorry, there's a bit of a contradiction here. They were left in hotel rooms. I mean, there's like boxes of them, these people. I mean, what were they? The Islamic version of the bloody Gideons? I mean, who were these people? Image. Oh, they found a Quran, see? It's them then. What time's Wheel of Fortune on, honey? But keep focusing on this image. Wind up the emotions of the people. Focus on one man, but only for as long as it matters, and then forget he exists. Talk about freedom while taking it away, and you can create a situation in which you are a hero for killing 5,000 civilians, at least, independent count, in Afghanistan in response to 3,000 civilians dying in the attacks in America. That is the focus that started this whole period. That is, previous shot was terrorism. This is fighting terrorism. This is evil. This is fighting for peace and justice. They are both freaking terrorism, and it's about time we realized it. These guys are wanted for terrorism. I was interviewed on this liquid news thing on BBC. It was live. I agreed to do it because it was live. And they threw me a great line because George Michael had just come out with this video about Bush, and it was all this controversy, and they said, well, what do you think about that? I thought, ooh, hey, set me up brilliant. I said, my only problem with it, I don't think he went far enough. What he should have said was they're both flipping terrorists. And her eyes went, ooh, and her ear started, lovely. And now I was talking about, no, it was just created to create the war on terrorism. That's just your opinion. I said, well, hold on a minute, that's fine. It's fine you saying that, but why don't your news say that when you quote George Bush or Tony Blair as saying something as fact? Why don't they just say, hey, he's saying this is the official story of 911, but it's only his opinion. No, we don't have that. It becomes the official story. Definition of a terrorist: one who favors or uses terror-inspiring methods of governing or coercing government or community, hence terrorism. I wonder if blowing the feet off a 16-year-old ice cream vendor in Afghanistan might just constitute that version of what a terrorist is. This is what really happens when we go to war. And you hear these people, we've got to go to war. We've got to go to war? You're watching the Saudi war on CNN, mate. You're going nowhere. We send other people in to do that. There's going to be a few, hey, if you want to look away pictures coming up, because tell you why, not least because this video is going to go out in America. If we think that our news is controlled and slanted, and it is, in America, they're the business, like the Fix News of Fix News, not Fox News, Fix News of Murdoch, and all these other networks. They're doing everything but have their presenters sitting at desks enveloped in the national bloody flag. And unless we realize what war really means, how can we make an informed decision on whether we think we should go to war? I have a simple philosophy. I don't want to go to war ever, because once you go to war, you've lost already. This was Afghanistan before the bloody bomb started. A Stone Age country in the middle of a famine. Hey, John, go get 'em, boy. And they dropped these cluster bombs, which rip people apart, because once they explode, this razor-sharp metallic objects fly out at great speeds, cut people in half, and they dropped bloody food parcels that looked like cluster bombs. What a great laugh those people must have had. Hey, he thought it was his food, he's got blown up, hey. And I'm not kidding you, this is the mentality of these people. They took, before Afghanistan the bombing started, they got control of all satellite images, private and public, of Afghanistan, so that they could hide the fact that they were targeting civilian targets. And here's a funny thing. Osama bin Laden, created by the CIA, wanted by the FBI, strange but true. The CIA created this guy, brought him out of Saudi Arabia to front up Al-Qaeda during the occupation of Afghanistan by the Soviets. The tunnel system, they had to bomb the Al-Qaeda tunnel system, was actually built with CIA money funneled through the ISI, Pakistan Military Intelligence, from the CIA. And it was built by bin Laden Construction. That's a lovely one. I like that. You're the head of the snake. No, you're the head of the snake. You're both right. Yeah, absolutely you are. Oh, do you remember the anthrax scare? Image, fear. Protect me. Take my rights away. Protect me. I saw this headline. Cheney says anthrax packages are very worrying. So I wrote at the bottom, we'll stop sending them then, Dick. And of course the anthrax scare disappeared in bloody minutes once it was established that the strain of anthrax going through the post was the one used and only used by the US military. Oh. And the anthrax vaccine, which of course sold in vast amounts, is actually owned by a company, the only company producing it is Bioport, and that links into the Carlyle Group of Father George Bush. Now, oil stupid, let's quickly go through this. Why did they pick Afghanistan? Well, for many reasons, not least logistical, but in terms of oil, for this reason. There is a frenzy among the Illuminati families and companies to control the vast gas and oil reserves of the Caspian Sea. Now, because the Caspian Sea is a landlocked sea, they need pipelines across all these countries, hey, just the ones they're taking over, to get it out to the world markets. And what they wanted was a pipeline across western Afghanistan down through to the Pakistan coast of the Arabian Sea. They had no problem with the Taliban and its treatment of women or bin Laden when during the 90s Unocal, a major oil company in America, was negotiating with the Taliban to build those pipelines. They took the Taliban to Texas, gave them the star treatment, they were then flown to the State Department and the same happened. And they were doing a deal, but because of the Taliban's treatment of women, a tremendous backlash, not least in America, from women's groups and others, forced Unocal to eventually accept that they could not build the pipeline while the Taliban were in power. In the words of a Unocal spokesman in 1997, we cannot go ahead with a pipeline until there is an internationally recognized regime in Afghanistan. These are the people, by the way, that some of the companies involved in this frenzy to control the oil of the Caspian Sea. Unocal I've mentioned. Halliburton, Chief Executive Officer, 1995 to 2000, still on the payroll, Dick Cheney. Pennzoil, Bush family. Chevron, on the board of that before she joined the Bush administration, Condoleezza Rice, they even named a oil tanker after her, the National Security Advisor. So, Unocal wanted to build this pipeline, couldn't go ahead, they had to pull out in 97. What happened then is the Taliban were removed by blaming it on bin Laden and saying bin Laden is kept by the Taliban in Afghanistan, and now that pipeline is being built. Just a coincidence, nothing to worry about. And the company involved with Unocal was a joint venture, Delta Namir, companies held by Khalid bin Mahfouz and Mohammed Alamoudi, the two people who were named by the Clinton State Department as funders of Al-Qaeda. Hey, the puzzle pieces are starting to go together here. So, that's why they went for Afghanistan, at least on the level of oil. Now, it doesn't end there. Whoa! A guy called Zalmay Khalilzad was appointed by George Bush as his envoy to Afghanistan after the war to oversee the transition into the new government of Afghanistan, which was headed by Hamid Karzai as it still is today. Ooh. Zalmay Khalilzad, chief advisor to Unocal on the pipeline project. Hamid Karzai, advisor to Unocal on the pipeline project. Hey, this is the movie. How many journalists out there are there? Millions and millions. Why do we know this? This guy was Defense Secretary Cheney when his military bombed the oil infrastructure of Iraq in the 1991 Gulf War. As chief executive of Halliburton, he won contracts from Saddam Hussein to repair some of what had been bombed. Couldn't make the sodding thing up. Here's the new Middle East. There we go. And you can create a situation in which you are a hero for killing 5,000 civilians, at least, independent count, in Afghanistan in response to 3,000 civilians dying in the attacks in America. That is the focus that started this whole period. That is, previous shot was terrorism. This is fighting terrorism. This is evil. This is fighting for peace and justice. They are both fricking terrorism, and it's about time we realized it. These guys are wanted for terrorism. Ready to have a conversation in the departure lounge or what? Hey, quick, Abdul, quick, listen. You know those big towers in New York? Well, listen. And did you notice? I love it. The Qurans were left on the Quran. See? It's them then. What time's Wheel of Fortune on, honey? But keep focusing on this image. Image. Wind up the emotions of the people. Focus on one man, but only for as long as it matters, and then forget he exists. Talk about freedom while taking it away everywhere. You notice, they were left in strip joints. Sorry, there's a bit of a contradiction here. They were left in hotel rooms. I mean, there's like boxes of them, these people. I mean, what were they? The Islamic version of the bloody Gideons? I mean, who were these people? Image. Oh, they found